Hey, hi there, guys. Warren here at one of my favorite spots down in Hikia Park, State Park. And behind me, they do some restoration on the I want to say marsh, but it's not marsh. It's the estuary. As you see going through here, it's historical, and there's some restoration being done by volunteers and students. But yeah, I'm down here today, and today I wanted to talk about the missing tile syndrome. Indeed. And as I heard it the other day, and as soon as I heard it, I knew exactly what they were talking about. And I never heard it before either, but as soon as I heard it, it just kind of clicked in my head. And basically, it's, imagine you walk in a room, a beautiful room, anywhere, a museum, just a beautiful room, and you see a wall full of beautiful tiles. And everything is symmetrical, clean, except there is one tile missing. And where does our eyes go? You got it. Straight to the missing tile. And look, it's not a character flaw. It's not a character flaw. It's evolutionary. Indeed, I said it. It is. It's evolutionary because our brains are wired that way. We're wired that way. It's definitely not a character flaw. Our brains evolved to notice things that were wrong. And rightfully so. Our ancestors didn't have the luxury of early warning devices as we do today, right? Sirens and the like. They had to worry about, like I've brought up before in other episodes, where that threat was, because that threat was what they hunted for food, and so the threat hunted them too. So they had to remember where the missing member of the group from yesterday's hunt went missing. They had to remember where that attack was. So they didn't have the luxury of early warning devices. And so we evolved. But then it got me thinking, how much of that do we still do today? How many missing tiles are we focused on in our lives today? I mean, nowadays, modern life doesn't ask us to survive. It asks us to appreciate, even though it's still running on, dare I say, ancient software. Because, right? I mean, is it just me? It's running on ancient software, but today, the things we focus on is that one complaint or negative comment out of 500. It is that one missing tile, metaphorically missing tile, you know, the one mistake that we made that we're just beating ourselves up about. And you can name and pick anything as your example. But today, that's what we focus on, right? The one wrinkle in our plans. And often while we're doing that, we're completely, metaphorically, missing the wall of our lives. Another one that comes to mind is the forest for the trees, right? But we do. We focus on the things, and here's another part of the problem, is that the things, as you probably noticed from the examples I used, are often superficial. But yet we spend so much time narrowing our focus down from being a panoramic of seeing life more panoramically. We narrow our focus down to, dare I say, thumbnails and snapshots instead of seeing our lives as full episodes. But not a character flaw. It was handed down to us by our ancestors. But I mean, what are we missing? You know, what are we missing when we do that? What are we really missing? Let's double click on that, get to the minutia of that per se. I mean, what is it that we miss when we do that? I'll give you a hint. I did an episode about it. It's happiness now, right? While, not when. It is happiness now during the process. So I dropped the tile. So the tile didn't come in time. So the project has to go a little longer than was articulated, promised. So there's a negative comment. And oh, by the way, you have no idea who this person is that made the negative comment, or who cares? But that is what we focus on. But what if we turn that just a little bit and look at it not in terms of happiness having to be found in the missing tile, but happiness being found in the entirety of our wall, to include the missing tile. I mean, I've been fortunate to travel, and one of my favorite places is Italy. And while I was musing just now, trying to think of another thought, I was like, what if, imagine it this way, what if someone went to one of the great cathedrals, one of the great museums, and that occurred, and they spent the entire visit, just focusing on the missing tile? How much more do you miss, again, when we negate the panorama of our lives and narrow it down to thumbnails and snapshots? But we do it ever so often. Again, not a character flaw, just our human condition. But I would just like to remind us, though, that sometimes that missing tile, as I've found in my life, is where growth really starts. Because you're tested, right? You're tested. Should I lose my you-know-what because there's a wrinkle in my plan? Should I just throw up my hands because life is tough? That's where I did that episode, too. For those who've seen it, it's down here. Different shot, though. But should I throw up my hands? Should I throw in the towel? Or this is the time when we knuckle down. We look at our trials and tribulations in the face and basically just say, not today. Today is the day I start growing. And so many episodes and videos and people talk about that, growing. And it's important, but some of it is so superficial, though, because people just talk about it, but they don't apply it. And I think that, again, which part of this is our problem is this is number 3. I think the third part of our problem is application. We watch the videos. I am sure you watch your favorite creator and over, and you probably hear them say what they say, depending on what it is you're into. And if it's a channel similar to this, then you're trying to better yourself. And you hear it. This channel too, you hear it if you're a returning member. But we never apply it. We just sit and we watch it and we're like, oh yeah, man, that's awesome. That's so powerful. That's so profound. And then the video ends and we go back to our old ways, our old selves. I think the third part of our problem is application. And it's not easy. Nothing I talk about on our channel is easy. I get that. Life isn't easy. But what are the alternatives if we don't apply, if we don't dig in, if we don't say this is the day? What is it all for? I mean, we're just spinning our wheels, right? What is it all for? So I would just say make meaningful, short lists of the things that you're just not going to let bother you anymore, of the things. So, right, you have to take your list, however long that is, and you have to narrow it down, because I know you're not going to probably do them all. We don't get to them all. We're humans. But the ones that truly bother you, that you're like, I really want to curb this, I really want to fix this, you know, I don't know, 3 to 5 of them, again, depending on your list's length. and just focus on them and do the work. Do the work. You know, when I was in uniform, and I had soldiers and cadets too, when I instructed ROTC that struggled with physical fitness, and they asked me, Sergeant P, what do I need to do to get better? I am sure you know what the answer is by now, the way the context is working, right? Consistency. Work on the thing that is your weakness. If it was the push-ups, do things that make you stronger in your upper body. If it was running, do things that make you breathe better, make you understand how the body functions, that form follows function. And so you have to breathe right in the cadence with a step or little things. But at its core, it's consistency. Consistency. There are no miracle cures for anything, really. Just consistency. All right? So it's not rocket science, as they say. But it's also not easy because of other things. Shades of gray between black and white. I understand nuances. People have lives, real lives. So juggling that and these things can become a little overwhelming, but they're doable, okay? And I will just leave you with that because I think that is enough. Trying is enough. And until our next conversation, you be good out there. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and we'll talk again soon. I'll see you. You guys can stay as long as you want.